His name is Squilliam Fancyson III, and he is living proof that money buys everything but peace. To outsiders, he is the successful octopus. Yachts, jets, fame, talent, the guy living the dream. But I guarantee you, his life is an expensive lie, a facade of silk and luxury that hides an existential void. And the sole purpose of this entire charade is to destroy one person, Squidward Tentacles. Squidward is no genius. We know that. He's the grumpy neighbor, the misunderstood artist, but Squilliam isn't just a rival, he's a predator. And what he does to humiliate Squidward isn't healthy rivalry, it's sick obsession. Today, we're going to open Squilliam's secret file, unmasking the empire of lies he built brick by brick, just to watch Squidward fall. Pay attention, because the level of this octopus's madness will shock you. The first time we saw Squilliam action, he was already playing dirty. The scene is classic, band gigs. Squidward is there, practicing the clarinet, trying to find a shred of happiness in his art when the doorbell rings. A doctor and a paramedic show up, saying they came from the pet hospital to treat a dying animal in his house. Think about the humiliation. Squidward is interrupted, exposed, and right after, Squilliam calls, as if he knew everything. That smile in his voice, the phrase, "I'm living your dreams," it's not just a coincidence. It's planning. The theory is simple but brutal. Squilliam was spying on Squidward. He knew the exact moment Squidward was most vulnerable, at the height of his artistic frustration, and he used his money to bribe them. Bikini Bottom doesn't have a pet hospital. The doctor and paramedic are regulars at the general hospital, the ones we see treating SpongeBob suds. Squilliam dressed them as vets and staged the joke. He bought medical authority to validate a cruel joke. The goal wasn't the animal, it was Squidward's emotional destruction. He didn't just want Squidward to feel like a failure, he wanted him to be diagnosed as one. This is Squilliam's pattern, using money to distort reality and create situations where Squidward is the target. He doesn't fight, he schemes. On the same day, the obsession reaches a new level, the Bubble Bowl. Squilliam shows up and says he's the leader of a fancy band, but he's busy and needs Squidward to play in his place. Let's be frank, we've never seen this band, we've never heard of it. Squilliam says he's busy, but he shows up in the audience, arms crossed, waiting for the horror show. It's obvious. The band and the excuse were totally made up. He created a phantom musical entity just to have an excuse to approach Squidward and force him to accept a challenge he knew would be catastrophic. Squidward, hungry for recognition, falls into the trap. He gathers the band, practices, dedicates himself, and Squilliam just had to show up at the end to watch the circus burn. The Bubble Bowl stage wasn't for music, it was for televised public humiliation. Squilliam didn't want Squidward to succeed, he wanted him to fail in front of thousands of people, and for that failure to be the peak of his career. He used Squidward's dream as bait. That's cruel, that's dark, and there's more. The fact that he shows up at the end after saying he was busy shows that his time wasn't valuable. What was valuable was Squidward's suffering. He traded an important commitment, which probably didn't exist, for the pleasure of watching his rival sink.
The obsession doesn't stop. It infiltrates the daily routine. In the episode Squilliam Returns, Squidward conveniently bumps into Squilliam and his fancy friends right at the Krusty Krab door. They mock Squidward for working as a cashier. Here, Squilliam reveals the fragility of his own life. If you look closely, these friends are not Bikini Bottom's elite. They are common fish whom we've seen around, including frequenting the Krusty Krab. The theory is Squilliam hires audience. He pays extras to wear expensive clothes and pretend to care about his life just to have someone to laugh at Squidward. Squilliam doesn't have real friends. He has luxury employees. He needs to buy his superiority. And what does he buy? A stage. He sets up the encounter at Krusty Krab, a place he never frequent, just to ensure Squidward was there at his lowest point at his humble job. And the most shocking thing? At the end of the episode, Squilliam confesses that everything is a lie. I made everything up about my life. I have no yachts, jets, or anything. I was only trying to impress you. Of course, he takes it back and says he was just kidding. But we know every lie has a kernel of truth. Squilliam is rich, yes, but his happiness and popularity are fake. He is a lonely man who uses money to fill the void left by Squidward's absence in his life. He buys the admiration he can't earn. His level of madness is so high that he literally buys monuments and corrupts the city's infrastructure. In Squidward's School for Grown-Ups, he boasts about having a statue for cleaning the city. He shows up at the exact moment Squidward is doing community service, picking up trash. Once again, the encounter is not casual. It's staged. Squilliam pays for the statue to be built, pays the fish who praises the statue, who by the way is one of the hired extras, and sets up another casual encounter to rub his fake success in Squidward's face. And the final proof that he bought the city? In the end, the statue is destroyed and the police officer gives the ticket directly to him. If it were a city statue, the officer wouldn't be giving the ticket to Squilliam. He's the owner. He used money to create a symbol of fake success, and when the symbol is destroyed, he takes responsibility. He doesn't just buy admiration, he buys the city's history. He rewrites Bikini Bottom's history to place himself as a hero just for Squidward to see. Squilliam isn't just trying to be better than Squidward. He's trying to erase Squidward from reality, replacing him with a glorified version of himself. Squilliam spends millions on elaborate schemes, risking his own freedom just to humiliate an old classmate? Why? We always thought it was envy. Truth is darker. In one episode, Slide Whistle Stooges, Squidward appears wearing a robe, but it's not his. It's Squilliam's silk robe. Think about it. Why would Squidward have an intimate piece of clothing from his arch enemy? Squilliam's obsession isn't about rivalry. It's about rejection. All this hatred, all this charade is the desperate reaction of someone who was abandoned. Squilliam isn't trying to prove he's better than Squidward. He's trying to prove that he doesn't need him anymore. And it's this pain, this resentment that fuels his empire of lies. Squilliam isn't rich. He is a slave to Squidward's memory. He can't move on. He can't love. He can only destroy the object of his obsession. And that's why he'll never stop. Squidward is the curse that Squilliam's money can't buy. So, did this theory make you see Squilliam as a real villain? Leave a like, comment what you thought, and share it with anyone who needs to know the truth. See you next time, and remember, hatred sometimes is just love gone wrong.